Welcome to Land Grant Today. My name is Dr. Jamie Davis, and today you guys are in for a treat. We have the pleasure of speaking to Ms. Khyrrah Shepard. She's a graduate of the College of Agriculture and Food Sciences, our food science program, and currently she's serving as a cannabis consultant in California. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Shepard, before we get into your experiences and your story, I do want to ask, out of all of the agriculture options that you had when you graduated, you chose the cannabis industry. Can you tell us why?
I think that I chose this industry because it's an emerging market. There's so many different jobs and different things that you can do within the industry. So I felt that I had a place in that industry right away, and there was a lot of new things for me to discover and learn.
Okay. So let's talk about what you learned and what you discovered. You had a couple of different jobs since you graduated and left us. So can you talk about working for Orion GMP Solutions? What exactly did you do there?
Okay. So Orion GMP Solutions, yes. They are a pharmaceutical process engineering firm.
Okay.
Our two partners have a background in chemistry and from a heavily regulated background in pharmacy. We focus on compliance and quality assurance within the cannabis space. So my main role is serving as a resource for anything that's related to biological adulteration or like sanitization within a manufacturing plant or a manufacturing space. Right now, cannabis is having some problems in microbial adulteration, which is there's mold, bacteria present that should not be. And that's what I'm helping mitigate and eliminate. Okay,
so how do you resolve those issues? Like, what's your strategy, or in layman's terms, what's your approach?
I take a hands-on approach. I will go on site. You have to take a look at the facility. You have to know the process. So there's usually there will be some sort of gap audit that is completed primarily, and we will audit them against some sort of standard. Right now in cannabis, there's no standard. So it's really applying raw scientific principles and theories that you learn on a campus such as Florida A&M in these facilities in order to solve their problems, and then using some sort of science-based test, or in my case, usually it's a DNA-based rapid test or assay in order to make sure that I achieve my goal.
Okay. Interesting. Very impressive. Let's talk about your other job opportunities that you had since you moved to California. Is there anything else you want to tell us about other jobs?
I absolutely adore my time with Steep Hill Labs. Steep Hill Labs is the premier, the oldest regulated cannabis testing facility in the space primarily. They are in multiple states. They are in Washington, Oregon. They're in Jamaica, Hawaii. And I had the opportunity to work at the corporate facility in Berkeley, California with Dr. Reggie Galdino. We've done some sort of consulting for product development for a company that has ties to an FDA regulated, the only FDA regulated, it's called microarray based test. And it's an assay that they use for cancer, but they're using that same technology in order to solve problems in cannabis with that microbial adulteration that I was talking about earlier. And I had the opportunity to work on that project with Dr. Galdino. I think that was fantastic, as well as my time with Outliers Collective, where I mitigated spoilage, again, another micro-related problem in cannabis flower production, as well as evaluated new technology to scale up cannabis processing.
Okay. So in 2 years, you have a lot of experience working in this industry. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On your success thus far. But as it relates to the cannabis industry, what are some types of issues other than the ones that you're mentioning that you're trying to resolve, or that people in the industry are trying to resolve?
Pesticides are huge right now.
Okay.
Even if the residuals that may be in the air, if someone sprays, because remember, California is big agriculture. They produce so much organic produce and other produce for the rest of the nation, even internationally. So sometimes there can be some sort of drift, and that can have an effect. And because there are concentrations, they make concentrate and other products from that raw material, it doesn't always just end up being used in that form. We started are seeing breakdown products and residues that don't belong, as well as other plant diseases. Like right now, we're realizing that there's a virus similar to the tobacco mosaic virus that is impacting this crop. And so like there are some considerable problems that need to be solved.
Okay. Ms. Shepard, you make agriculture sound cool. You're very knowledgeable. You're passionate about agriculture, about this industry. How can we get more young minds interested in science, agriculture, engineering, like how you are now?
I think aligning goals and understanding what someone, like what goals someone who may be a little bit younger may have, and how they see themselves, kind of putting ourselves in their shoes. So making it seem cool, or if you know that they need certain things or they want to look a certain way, then how does learning science help them achieve that look that they're going for, or that persona that they're going for? I see science as powerful, because I think that knowledge is powerful. So science is something that I liked, but I also menteed under Dr. Violetta Silova, and when she walks into the lab that she directs in her fur coat, driving her two-door foreign car, then it definitely inspired me, so.
Okay, let's talk about when you were in high school, middle school, maybe even elementary school. How did your parents kind of embed that desire for science?
I've always been in science camps. So by the time I was in 5th grade, I had already gone to sleepaway camps in marine biology, snorkeled. Boys and Girls Club, Urban League, they usually have like some sort of science-based route that you can take within those facilities. And then just going through middle school, I was in summer science from middle school up until high school. So summertime, I didn't just stay at home. I went to summer science. And
it paid off. We have to go to break, but when we return, we'll talk about Khyrrah's experience in California working for startup companies.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Mom.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
So we were walking to school. I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart.
want cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
I really hope she doesn't have
I really
another
hope I
bad
don't
day
have another bad day at school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to Land Grant Today. My name is Dr. Jamie Davis, and we're talking to Ms. Shepard, cannabis consultant in California. Let's continue. When you graduated from Florida A&M University, you went the traditional route working for corporate, Monsanto. Can you tell us about that experience working at Monsanto as a FAMU graduate?
Sure. That was an amazing experience. My site was a satellite site in San Diego.
Okay.
So the main site's in Missouri. It was a very small site, but we had like some amazing technology. So I was exposed to pretty much the cutting edge like application of molecular biology, like within biology and biotech like as a whole. So it was a fantastic experience.
Okay, but then you transitioned. You took a leap of faith. You transitioned to what are called startup companies, or working for a startup company. Can you tell us about what is a startup and why you chose to go that route?
Okay. Well, startup companies are companies, someone has an idea, they believe in it, they fund it, and they start their own company. So I chose to work for startup companies because I believe that when you kind of get involved in a company at its inception or at the beginning of the company, then you have like more of an opportunity for the company to grow like sort of underneath you and be a key player within that company. Whereas in an established corporation such as Monsanto Company, I was hired and I had like solid work, consistent work, but I did the same thing every day, and they recruit so heavily. They even recruit at Florida A&M. So if they needed someone new or someone fresh, they would go outside to get that perspective. But I had a dedicated role, and I did that role every day, which I did not enjoy.
Okay. Valid argument. Can you talk about what you did at your startups that made it different than working the traditional jobs? Give us an example.
Yes, you have to be very flexible. So I arrived to my very first startup. They had a problem that needed to be solved, and I had to use sort of an interdisciplinary approach to solve their spoilage issue, like microbiology. There was like a little bit of chemistry. We were evaluating different methods for solving the problem, and working closely with our VP of extraction, Dr. Marcus Rogan. So it's very collaborative, and you have to be flexible and wear multiple hats. So that's pretty much what I did.
So in your current role, can you talk about your responsibility, the autonomy that you have, and flexibility?
I love my current role because I can work anywhere. That's the first thing. I work remotely. So at any given time, maybe I'm in Seattle, or we had some work in Canada that I had the opportunity to participate in. And even there, I pull up my laptop, I log on to my Microsoft Teams, and I'm at work. I log off of my Teams, and I have my goals. If I have to do something that day, I can get that done, but I can still do my work on my own time.
Okay. So you have that flexibility and you like it?
I do.
So do you prefer the startup life rather than the more traditional, conventional?
I think that there's a balance. I prefer a balanced life because I am a scientist, and I do need equipment, and I do need a facility in order to continue growing as a scientist. So I do like the autonomy, and I see where it is beneficial depending on your goals for the moment, but I'm transitioning to a phase where I will have a facility that I'm working in soon.
Excellent. Let's transition to another topic. As a female, a black female working in the ag field, describe your experiences in a male-dominated industry.
My experience has been overall positive.
Okay.
I live in California in liberal spaces.
Very liberal.
And I think at this point in time in 2018, people understand what problems exist and have made decisions whether or not they are going to do their part to solve those problems. So I've had a lot of support from males, black males, white males. And at the same time, I've also had instances where people decided to use their male dominance in their mind in order to stop my growth or to make me feel uncomfortable. And that's okay, because you're going to be uncomfortable. So, so what? It's all about meeting of the minds. It's all about respecting someone's intellect. So that's pretty much where I try to meet people. I just try to meet people on an intellectual field. And if you can't meet me there, then it doesn't really matter what you have to say anyway.
Well said. Let's talk about the importance of networking. You had various jobs since you've been in California. How were you able to secure these jobs in so short period of time?
Networking is huge. I joined an organization called Women Grow, which was all about breaking the glass ceiling in cannabis for women and like sort of having that equality, because it's a white male dominated industry right now. Right. So I joined that organization, and that's how I got my first job. At my first job, part of my role, that flexibility in wearing multiple hats, was kind of like fostering these relationships between like science-oriented companies. So Steep Hill Labs, we had a relationship with Steep Hill Labs, with Dr. Galdino, and that's how he kind of got to know my work ethic, because I had to track him down and have him respond to certain things, and then he ended up hiring me when there was an organizational restructure.
Briefly, we're running out of time, but you're working with the best minds in the industry. What can we expect from you down the road?
I'm definitely going to transition into manufacturing. I want to own some sort of manufacturing plant, and that's how I want to generate revenues so that I can do other things, including greater impacts.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing what you have in store. We do have to go to break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about Khyrrah's experience in the College of Agriculture and Food Sciences.
Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University continues its legacy of fostering educational excellence among top students from across the nation. Established on October 3, 1887, FAMU is ranked as the #1 public HBCU by U.S. News and World Report. A doctoral research land-grant university, FAMU offers students access to a high-quality, affordable education focused on science, technology, research, engineering, agriculture, mathematics, and liberal arts. Offering 56 bachelor's degrees, 29 master's degrees, and 12 doctoral programs. Located in Florida's capital city, FAMU's 422-acre main campus is perched atop one of the highest of 7 hills in Tallahassee. FAMU has 14 colleges and schools with satellite campuses, programs, and facilities around the world, including the law school in Orlando, several pharmacy instructional sites, and its newly acquired Brooksville Agricultural Research Station. The campus also houses a museum, along with several libraries, eateries, state-of-the-art facilities, and computer labs. Student activities include government, athletics, and nearly 200 registered organizations focusing on academics, community service, publications, and cultural awareness. Florida A&M University is committed to producing students who will fulfill their dreams and make a real difference in the world. The Social Mobility Index reports that FAMU ranks 3rd in the nation for increasing economic opportunities and for providing graduates careers with average starting salaries of $45,000 a year. Lauded as one of the top producers of African American graduates, with more than 30 states and 70 countries represented, Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University has nearly 10,000 rattlers who invite you to become a new you. Let FAMU push you forward.
Today,
tomorrow, and forever.
open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Welcome back to Land Grant Today. My name is Dr. Jamie Davis, and our guest is Ms. Khyrrah Shepard, cannabis consultant in California. Let's bring it back to the College of Agriculture and Food Sciences, where it all started for you. You majored in food science. Why?
I majored in food science because it was the closest thing to nutraceuticals that I could study and kind of get some sort of grip on how they're produced. I initially was a pre-pharmacy major, and I didn't like pharmaceuticals. I don't take pharmaceuticals. I don't even take aspirin or Advil. So I kind of felt like a hypocrite, and I wanted to make that transition.
Okay. So describe your experience in CABS, in the College of Agriculture and Food Sciences, more so the educational component. Did we prepare you?
Yes, one of a kind experience. I remember sitting in Dr. Sargent's class, and we ended up going to the state of Florida and taking tours of all of the labs in the state of Florida, their food chemistry, their biological adulteration and like analysis lab, and just different labs, and that was key. And I still pull on that, and as well as Dr. Masingo, Dr. James, everyone prepared me, and they're hard on you if they think that you're taking up the knowledge like fast. They will tailor the program to make sure that they're hard on you, to make sure that you get those concepts to the best of your ability. So it's a custom program.
Excellent. Let's transition to your experience working with Dr. Slova at the Viticulture. How did that shape or prepare you for working in California?
I would not have made it to California without that experience. I got my first experience in DNA prep and extraction, RNA prep extraction. I learned about biotechnology in her Intro to Biotech class. There's a lab. Everything that I did there led up to me getting that job with Monsanto Company, which led to me getting into the cannabis industry. So it was crucial.
So overall, being a student in College of Agriculture and Food Sciences, did we prepare you for life after graduation?
Yes, in every way, educationally, even socially. Learning different personalities. Like I mentioned earlier, I have a background in science that stems like all the way into my childhood. So I never really focused on the social aspect, and that's important too. Like, that's as important as your education in a lot of ways. So on both fronts, I was prepared very thoroughly, and I appreciate it.
Great. We seldom interview students after they graduate because you guys go off and do amazing things. Can you tell us a lesson or something that you experienced regarding the transition from being a student to a full-time worker?
Ooh, that's a good one. Something that I experienced was brutal, like, I don't know if this is even a word, but discomfort. There are times when you're transitioning that you're going to not be comfortable. And that's okay. You just have to learn how to channel it and use it as motivation to get you where you're going, and not be afraid to be uncomfortable, because that's when you grow the most anyway. So that's something that I experienced.
So was the move from Florida, Tallahassee to California, was that one of those situations that was uncomfortable?
In a way, because I was used to being by myself. The economy in Florida is just different than it is in California. It's very expensive in California. So for what I would pay to get an apartment here, like a 1-bedroom or a studio, I now pay that, and I lived in a hostel with all international people. Myself and like 2 other people were like the only native English speakers, and everyone else was international, which another uncomfortable situation that I grew from gave me tons of perspective. But yeah, like it was uncomfortable.
Very interesting. Thank you for that insight. We have to go to break, but when we return, we'll have final words from Khyrrah Shepard.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
She calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you're beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. The whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
That's
Welcome back to Land Grant Today. Our final words from Ms. Khyrrah Shepard. What advice would you give a student that's interested in majoring in agriculture?
I think the first thing that I would say is to just stay true to yourself and follow your path that you feel like on the inside that you think you're supposed to follow. That's what I've been doing, and it's been a great ride for me. So hopefully it'll do the same for you and make you successful as well. That's the first thing I would say. Make efforts while you're in college to immerse yourself in agriculture, because the reality of the situation is you probably won't come in contact with as much technology as many knowledgeable people who are in your corner and wanting to see you succeed out in the world as you're going to come into contact with those people here. You just won't. So take advantage of all of the resources. And agriculture is kind of diving into this data-driven, statistically significant, and statistically driven decision-making model. So don't be afraid to branch out into mathematics, computer science, biology, chemistry. Just really take your time and pick something that you think it can add and augment your agricultural that can augment your time here.
Well, you brought up a valid point. You want the students that are coming in to be integrated into university, apply themselves, get as much opportunities outside of agriculture, but also to appreciate the lessons that they're getting in our college.
Exactly.
All right, that sounds good. Ms. Shepard, it was a pleasure having you on the show. We appreciate your knowledge, your insight, your inspiration. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, for sure.
And there you have it. That's another show of Land Grant Today. We'll see you next week.